People are very interested in what Nicole does at work. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio.
Yeah, so much so that they follow her all over TikTok because she goes online about 4 or 5 hours a day and just does her workday. She starts about 9 o'clock. She sits down at her computer. She's kind of like a computer programmer, but the reason that she does it herself, she says she has ADHD, and it actually helps her focus a little more because she feels like, which I don't understand that, but if that works for her, that's amazing. But it also combats loneliness, and she works remotely but wants to still have people around her.
Oh, okay, I get it. So she live streams, and it's like her coworkers in a sense.
Yes.
She's got people that she can interact with while she's on the job, and she's just doing this virtually all the time.
Yeah, and evidently people want to watch her work and see what she's up to because she has over 1 billion views of her TikToks. And so she's making a pretty good living on TikTok as well on her social.
Not bad. Makes me think if you could work anywhere on the planet, virtually and still do what you love to do right now, where in the world would you even do it?
Somewhere in Italy. Like the Amalfi Coast.
See, Liz talks about her and her husband taking a vacation some year to Italy.
Yeah, want to do that so bad. And so if I could get my laptop, just sit there under an umbrella, hear the music, hear the ocean, perfecto.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
So there's this young lady, Nicole, she's on TikTok, and she streams about half of her workday and has all these followers interested in her just typing on a keyboard, and she'll, engage, interact, and do this kind of stuff. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio. And still, we started thinking about if you could work anywhere on the planet, anywhere, and still do what you do and do it virtually, where would you go? Liz said it was like Italy.
Oh, yeah. Where would you go, Rob?
I would nowhere. I'd be right here. Right here.
Okay. Kind of out of the box, but all right.
No, out of the box. I'd go to work. Boy, I'm so adventurous, wouldn't I be? Yeah. So, here is Michael. Okay, Michael, what about you?
If I could work from anywhere, it would be on my reclining couch from home, but not at home. My reclining couch would be positioned between Dairy Queen and Shake Shack.
Okay.
And I would just go back and forth, grazing in between meetings and assignments and whatnot. If you could get that set up for me, I'd really appreciate that. I'll treat you to a burger or a blizzard.
Well, that's very nice.
We'll work on that.
Right. Okay. Here is Rachel. What about you, Rachel?
I would totally do what I actually have done in the past, which is work from the swimming pool.
Oh.
Where I just lean against the edge of the pool with my laptop, and I trust that God will protect my laptop.
Yeah.
And I do my physical work, like my typing work, and then if I have to make phone calls, I just put in my earbuds and I make calls and hope nobody hears the kids screaming in the pool behind me. So to kind of, I actually sort of do that. But if I could do that all the time and feel really good about it, I would totally do that. Thanks, bye.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
It is very clear that this young man has had an encounter with Jesus, and he is telling the planet about it. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio. I don't know if you know the name Joshua Bassett, but he is one of the actors that's on High School Musical, the series. That's on Disney Plus. What was it, about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, he was baptized, right?
Yeah, he was. He was. And then he was at the Kids' Choice Awards, and it was pretty cool. He won an award, and in his acceptance speech, he did something pretty cool.
He gets up there and says, I'd like to thank my Savior, Jesus Christ. First thing out of his mouth, I'd like to thank my Savior, Jesus Christ. I want to say something. There are a lot of people who are burdened, brokenhearted, and have been beaten down in life. This is Joshua speaking at the Kids' Choice Awards, accepting an award. He says, I'm here to tell you, for those of you who've lost hope, there's a very real God who loves you more than you'll ever possibly know. His promise is peace. My testimony is my healing.
Wow.
It's from this Joshua Bassett actor on Disney Plus who had a really genuine encounter with Jesus and has sold out everything to him.
Well, right. And he gets on this platform. I mean, he has a lot of influence, honestly, on our young people because of his place as an actor, within the Disney field. So he gets up there and then proclaims that Jesus is his savior. I mean, how awesome is that?
Well, it's a great challenge. At least for me, it's a challenge to just not be ashamed of it. He's in an environment where he could lose a job because of what he's standing for right now. I mean, he really could, but he doesn't care. It's like, Jesus is my savior. Listen, this is how it is. He could be yours too. He can make a difference in your life. And I'm like, am I that bold anymore?
Yeah.
It's such a great challenge.
And he got a little backlash after he got baptized. He really did. There were people in that industry that kind of gave him a hard time. And you know what? He's standing strong.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
So Ryan's a pastor, and it was last year about August where he started having vertigo. Long story short, something happened and his brain activity stopped showing. And so the worst, right? The doctors come to the family and say, we're so sorry, but Ryan's brain is not alive anymore. So you have to start making some decisions. And they did. And so Ryan's an organ donor, and they're getting ready to harvest some organs so that some lives can be saved here. And his legacy just lives on. And so before they do that, the family's surrounding Dad, they're surrounding Ryan. And they're playing family videos on phones of his kids laughing and playing. And out of the corner of one of their eyes, they noticed his foot started moving.
Oh, my goodness.
They're like, wait a minute. And then they played it some more, and then his feet start moving again. And his vital signs started to fluctuate. It's like, man, we had to get everybody out of the room, and then we got the nurses and the doctors all in here. He's alive.
Wow.
He's alive. It's like he came back, he was a Lazarus. And so he's home now. It's months later. It's March, right? So he's home now. It's got a long road ahead of him, but what a miracle. And they I mean, with that kind of journey, there was a lot of financial stuff that was going on. And now he's in a wheelchair, and where they lived, there was no way to get around in that wheelchair to get in and out of the house. And so somebody puts up a GoFundMe page, and all of a sudden community comes and starts supporting them to help them through this journey. It's a beautiful thing and how the community is coming to help Pastor Ryan.
Yeah, and the community, those that maybe don't go to the church or, are just new to the story and new to the family, they're hearing his faith, his family's faith, the church that's getting involved, and so they're sharing Jesus through this struggle.
And last week, I think it was, they had this big come home celebration for him. Can you imagine what that was like for the family?
That was a lot of fun.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
I'm kind of excited, but I'm a little nervous. I hope they don't try to follow Jar Jar Binks' story or something. We found out Star Wars may have some new movies coming out.
Movies?
Yes,
so
movies.
They'll do like a Rogue One and another Solo kind of thing.
No idea. Like, are they going to follow Kylo Ren? Like, I don't know. But we're supposed to find out what's happening on April 7th. They've got this huge, convention type thing with panels and all this stuff that's going to be happening. But they're going to be talking about The Mandalorian. They're going to be talking about the other show, Andor. But they also say there's a part of this panel that's going to talk about live action filmmakers. So that's where everybody's like, new Star Wars movies. Ah! So, yeah.
Okay. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but Scott knows one of the characters from Star Wars.
No.
Go way back, Mark Hamill and I.
Isn't that crazy?
I met Mark Hamill right after the original Star Wars comes out. He knows a guy in the sheriff's office in the town I grew up in. So my cousin's husband was a sheriff's deputy, and they said, let's go for a ride. So they took me into the sheriff's office, and I'm like, am I in trouble? and there's Mark Hamill in the sheriff's chair, and he turns around, and I'm like, gasping. So we had like a 1 or 2 minute chat, just super nice. But I'm like, remember the lightsaber? Remember,
You
that
didn't.
from the movie? Just
Wait a
totally
minute.
starstruck.
So you ask these rhetorical questions.
I did. I'm like 6 years old, 5 or 6.
Oh,
Like, remember
Oh,
when you did
okay.
this in the movie? So yeah,
So Mark, remember when Darth Vader said, "I am your father"? Remember that?
yeah,
That was
that's how it
awesome.
went.
like you're there.
That was awesome. Do you remember? Do you remember when R2D2 got shot and the It's like that?
Pretty much.
Just like that.
Charlie? Okay.
The whole time, he's just nodding. Yes, yeah.
Sure, son.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
So you go to a theme park and there's a certain height requirement to get on some of these rides, right?
Yep.
It's 38 inches at a few amusement parks. So this one family has a son. He's 37 inches. Wants to go on these rides. So this family thought, oh, you know what? Let's just rig his shoes. Just put him up 1 inch. No harm, no foul. And then he got on all these rides because, he was 38 inches now. He stood up and, oh, look at that. I'm 38. I can get on. And he got on all these rides. And then the family had a brilliant idea. Let's post what we did on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, wow.
The response, you know how some replies are.
Yes.
Some people can be wonderful and thumbs up and smiley faces and hearts and bubble gum and candy. And then there were some people like, you did what? Really? Come on. And some people that really said some things they probably shouldn't have because, they have a keyboard and they can.
Keyboard cowboys.
So this family is like, you know what? Okay, we shouldn't have done that. You're not supposed to do this. What kind of example are we to our son? And they apologized openly.
Well, that is good. And, I think we've all made decisions at one time or another in our lives that we're not necessarily proud of.
My
And we
hand
have to
is
take,
risen high.
Right. Both. Hello. But, you take a step back and you go, I really shouldn't have done that. So you have to then have a talk with your kids or who you made the bad decision against or whatever and say, take responsibility for it, which I guess they did.
Yeah, they owned up to it.
Yeah.
And since they, told the entire planet, this is what we did, now we're sorry we did it. And that was a bad example. So good on them for owning up.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
They looked up and it was like, what in the world is that? I need to call 911. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio.
I can only imagine the call went sort of like, 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, there's 2 lights in the sky. It was Venus.
Really bright.
Right? It was Venus and Jupiter. And this happened actually in California, so I doubt the accent was like that. But
You never know.
you never know. They were calling because they saw Jupiter and Venus. And I don't know if you looked up in the night sky over the last couple of weeks or not, but it was so cool. It was absolutely gorgeous. But Venus and Jupiter were aligned. They were very close, closer than they've been in a good long while. And so it was an anomaly, sort of, something fun to look at, something fun to see. But 911 was getting a lot of calls, and the sheriff said, you got to stop. You got to stop calling
Wait.
911.
We know that they're planets, so just please.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
So Caesar's son is Riley, and he's got a friend, Cole, and they're literally training to join the military. And they have all these hiking skills. And so Riley and Cole, they're only 17. They approach their parents. Caesar's Riley's dad. And he's like, hey, we want to go on a 10-day hiking trip. 17 years old. They said, yeah, go ahead. So there's this tracking app, and they have all this food and backpacks and all this stuff. They're ready for the 10-day hiking trip. And the parents are like in Uber contact with them through this app. And then, if you'll remember, this is out in California, it started to snow by the bucket loads.
Absolutely. I mean, it was snowing so much. This is just east of LA in the mountains, which is where they went hiking. And so, because of all the snow, of course, the signal wasn't as great anymore. They lost contact with them.
They did. And so Caesar, who's Riley's dad, is like, I'm sending a rescue helicopter or something out there. So there's a rescue mission that went on. They still were not in contact with the kids, but they went to the last known place where they were on the tracking app, and they saw the footprints, followed the footprints, and they found the students. And one of them, the jacket was flown off of them. So
Yeah,
they
they
didn't have
lost
their
the jacket.
and the tent was all broken. And so they saved these kids.
Yeah, and the boys thought, Riley and Cole at some point had conversations that we're not going to make it out of here. It's been this long. It's this cold. We don't have any protection. What's going to happen to us? And what I find amazing and miraculous is that even with all that snow, they found footprints.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You would think no, but they did. And so it was like God let the footprints not get covered by the other snow that was falling, led the rescue workers right to these two teenagers, and was able to save them from what
Who
could
knows
happen
what?
to be the worst,
You're
right?
listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Peyton was so excited. She got up early in the morning. She got her hair just right. She grabbed her outfit. She got her pom-poms, and she was on her way. Now, Peyton is 8 years old, and she had a cheer competition at the Florida State Fairgrounds over the past week or so. So she is ready. She knows she is practiced. She is all in. She gets there, and she starts twiddling her thumbs. She's looking at, maybe mom's phone, trying to see the time. Nobody else is showing up. She
You mean
has
from her team?
from her squad. Yeah.
No way.
Her cheer squad. So comes to find out, coaches show up. She's like, where is everybody? Well, these kids are sick. These kids had other things going on. Peyton was the only one to show up. So, of course, mom and dad are like, well, that's okay. There'll be another one. She's like, no, I'm doing this. Peyton went out, did the cheer competition routine by herself.
No, get out.
Yeah. I mean, think of the courage it took for this little 8-year-old girl. So what happens in the end? The judges' scores are in. Peyton takes first place.
No way.
First place!
First place. That never would have happened if they would have just said, nobody else is here. We're just going to have to call it and be disqualified.
Absolutely. So she got first place, not only for herself, but for her team.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
I forgot to do my exercises this morning.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I know, I need to get them in.
Push-ups. What kind of push-ups do you do?
Oh, I do do you call them the female push-ups? I don't know. It's a modified push-up where you're on your knees. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's respectable.
Thank
Liz
you.
can do a modified push-up. Some people
Yeah.
can't even do one
Yeah, I know.
modified push-up.
That's
Hey, listen, after I get past 50, the knees are going down.
50?
Tough. I know that's not a lot. I'm sorry. But let me tell you, there's this guy named Daniel in Australia. We're talking push-ups here. He did like almost 3,200. He did 3,182 push-ups in a row, like last year. Or no, not last year. Yeah, last year. Last year was 2022. So there's this guy, and Daniel's in Australia. There's this guy in Florida. His name is Rob, not me. And he's like, I can beat that. And so he did. 3,264 push-ups. And so he's got the world record now for this and is published for, doing the most push-ups ever. And here's the thing about this Rob in Florida. He's 60 years old.
How long did it take him to do? It's over 3,000. So I'm thinking maybe in 24 hours time or a couple of days.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Did it in 5 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Here's the thing. This guy's my hero. When I'm 60, I want to be able to do something like that. I don't want to have to put my knees on the ground after 50 push-ups. I mean, come on. Over 3,200?
My goodness, that guy's in good shape.
I know, right?
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
So my wife has found an alternative to those Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
They're out. She's gluten-free, and I know there's gluten-free stuff, but there's certain types of flavors that she likes, and so she'll get the ones that taste like them. And
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know, don't even ask me. I don't know what brand it is. I just know it is. And I'm not a cookie guy. So I'm like, okay. I'm just not a cookie guy. But I'm hearing that people on eBay are selling some of these cookies for like $500 because there's one rare one. It's the raspberry thingamadoogle.
Yeah, so the Thin Mints that the Girl Scouts have had for a while, it's kind of like that, but it's a raspberry flavor. So it's not minty, it's just the raspberry. It's called Raspberry Rally or something. I've never tasted it. I don't know how it is. But because people are going gaga over this thing, it's sold out, and you can't get one from, the local girl or in front of the Walmart. And so they're going on eBay.
Yeah, selling like 12 boxes for $500.
Yes.
Some are getting 20. They're being nice about it.
20 a box, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. 20 a box.
Yeah, they're already like,
Okay.
I mean, it's somewhere between 5 and 6 per box. So this is quite a markup.
Yeah, I have no idea how much they cost. I never buy them. And I'm thinking, I wonder if there's a raspberry cookie alternative somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure there is. We just got to find it, not on eBay.
You're right, for $500.